From the time of the communist revolution, Jews were denied the right to live as Jews in the Soviet Union.
The only times that I heard about Jewish community was at the funerals. 10 men would get together to say Kaddish, and the 11th person would be standing outside looking out. They might have gotten arrested.
We knew about each other's existence, but we never would get together and speak. It was not safe. The anti-Semitism was so open. We were trained from a very early age not to speak about anything what was going on.
I knew about some people secretly learning Hebrew. If people would know, it can get possibly face jail time, expelled from university, losing their jobs. Despite of everything, they were still doing it.
Every Pesach we would get matzah, but it always came in a box that said soap on it, so that no one would know that we had matzah.
Our dream was to realize what does it mean to be a Jew. We don't want to be undercover.
As years went into decades, they were great heroes who rose within the Soviet Union, and probably the person amongst the many who is best known is Natan Sharansky. His story began as a love story. The morning after they were wed, the KGB came to Avital and ordered her to leave the Soviet Union. She said, "I can't leave without my husband." And they said, "This is your only opportunity. Natan will soon follow." They were separated for more than 12 years before Natan experienced his freedom.
8 years in prison because he led the fight for Jewish immigration and human rights.
At the end of the trial, he turned his back to the judges and he said, "I'm going to prison with a clear head, a clear heart." He only has thoughts for his wife. I only have thoughts for the Jewish people. Next year in Jerusalem. And then he turned back to the court and said, "To you judges, I have nothing to say."
You saw a man made out of steel. That man was able to, under the worst of circumstances, jails, confinement, solitary confinement, and was able to keep his strength, keep his belief, and he was a symbol.
Men, women, and children, families from across the continent gathered in Washington, D.C. in behalf of human rights and Soviet Jewry.
A major part of my own high school experience was rallying for the freedom of Soviet Jewry and feeling inspired to be part of the Jewish narrative, feeling like we had a mission.
There have been 250,000 with us today, the largest crowd in Jewish history.
I remember chanting, "Let my people go, let my people go," and singing Am Yisrael Chai. That was our central cause.
I remember I first came in September of 1980 to YU, and on the first day I was told by my classmates that tonight we are going to 67th Street to protest in front of the Soviet consulate. I didn't used to Jews going to protest. I wasn't even a citizen yet. How can I go to protest? And they said, come, Jews have to protest.
There were diverse opinions in the Jewish community. Should we be out there protesting? Will the Russians increase their pressure on the Jews? And will that be better if we stay silent? Maybe we should try to fill Madison Square Garden. The last time it was filled for a Jewish event was protesting Hitler. We decided, let's go ahead and do it.
We have a street sign up the block, right by the Russian mission, which is called Sharansky Square. They put that street sign right across from the Russian mission as an act of protest to basically say, you know, they're not going to walk out of that building without recognizing that there's someone who's not free and who needs to be free.
On February 11th, 1986, the world holds its breath as Natan Sharansky walks to freedom.
I can say that at that moment, as a 10th grader, seeing an individual who had risked his life, given of himself, sacrificed so much, had the courage to stand up for Jewish practice and text with such a sense of pride, had an enormous impact on me.
I remember his zigzagging on the bridge when he was told to go straight.
After the Soviet Jewry movement, there were many people who asked, will there ever be such a movement that will galvanize young people, bringing them together? And I think we've seen it in the past 2 years. But every week, for there to be marches for the hostages, pictures of the hostages reminded me of the pictures of the refuseniks
100%.
On the walls of synagogues and schools. It's right there. People think that our young people don't care. They do care. They care deeply. All you need is someone to inspire them.
You know, to live Jewishly is an act of defiance. It's an act of righteous rebellion against the moral inversion of reality and history. And SAR is teaching the next generation of Jewish leaders to be proudly and visibly and defiantly Jewish in the face of unprecedented anti-Semitism.
SAR has been trying to shape the people that go here to change the world.
We've heard about a lot of heroes, but now we need to be the heroes.
Learning about someone fighting for us to live differently was really mind-boggling, and it took me a really long time to process the whole concept that all Jews are responsible for each other. I would compare my feeling to like Harry Potter getting a letter from Hogwarts, and then suddenly it turns out that you're a wizard and there's like something more to it.
Just to hear the voices of Jewish children singing in unison became a cornerstone.
My age of kids being responsible for the next generation, we have to remember who we are, remember where we come from. That's our job.
At the end of school on Friday, when you walk out through those doors, Rabbi Kroll, Rabbi Harkstark, Dr. Schwartz, they're standing there and they're saying good Shabbos to every single person. That's the epitome of SAR. That's really what it's all about, that love.
This connection is so strong that sometimes you feel it without realizing it. Maybe that's why we had no doubts about who we are, being completely disconnected, not being able to learn Judaism, not celebrating holidays, not knowing anything about holidays. We still felt very strongly Jewish.
It was always there.
I have one daughter who's currently at SAR High School. For her, it's amazing to be in a place where she wholeheartedly belongs. I never had that.
Holding on to the identity, but continuing it, learning about it, passing it on, is really the arc of Jewish history. That's just what we've been doing for centuries.
B'chat b'chaim means choosing life not just for yourself, but for the community, for the Jewish people, for the whole world.
So I'm the mother of Oma Shem Tov. And from the beginning that Omer was kidnapped, I felt the love and the prayers from everywhere, in Israel, in all over the world. And you know, I understand what is the meaning to be a Jew. No matter where you are, you feel connected by the soul. We are one soul. If somebody is painful, we feel his pain. And it's only because we are Jew. And I want to say that every prayer that you are praying, I always said, you are sending an angel to the hostage, to the soldier. So keep praying. And thank you for all you did and you are doing. You have a big part of the history of the Am Yisrael. We are writing now the history of us. And no matter how much they want to destroy us. We are strong. We are strong because we are together. Am Israel Chai.